All right, everyone. You guys don't know us yet, but this is the first podcast. Brandon Gaston. I guess I'm the pseudo host today for Bellagio, but
yeah, why not?
Why not? For today only, with Dr. Kim, the man behind all the different brands, all the things we do here over here at Bellagio, real estate, laser vascular, foot and ankle, a lot of things. And we obviously have the foundation that you launched. But I think the best way to start and give people an idea that will kind of make everything mesh together is to tell your story.
Sure.
So let's start off with you. What got you into laser vascular? And if I'm not mistaken, I believe you are first generation immigrant. Is that true or no?
First generation meaning like
you
was born here.
Yeah, you came.
That's right. That's right. I came when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
So I came when I was a little boy. Didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't speak a word of English.
Okay.
I had nothing on me. No skill set. All I had was ambition. And drive.
Totally.
And attitude.
Yeah.
So I think that served me well in terms of working really hard, trying to accomplish things one step after another. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. Did wrong things that I wasn't meant to do, took wrong jobs that I wasn't supposed to do. But eventually I found out. And my story is that I came to the Valley around 2010 after finishing all my training and got a job here. Got a job as a surgeon, working day and night, and started my own business. And then it continued to grow. I guess it's just that passion that I had for helping the patients, kind of going above and beyond the traditional medicine, and just saying, just doing medicine or medications or surgeries on a patient, but kind of going beyond and helping them. I try to address like underlying problems, like, okay, if you got high blood pressure and diabetes, what's causing it? Is it the overweight? Is it your diet? Let's fix that instead of just throwing medicine.
Instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it, go get the core issue solved.
Exactly. What happens is that in Western medicine, we're taught to just throw medicine, medication, surgeries, and that's it. That's the treatment, and we're done.
That's a quick fix, quick money, keeps them on the medication.
Right.
Yeah.
And that fundamental training is what's wrong with it. Yes, absolutely. There's a place for antibiotics when you have infection. You need medications for certain reasons. But the fundamental reason why they have that condition or diseases can be treated and can be found out. For example, arthritis. A lot of people have arthritis mainly not because they overused it or because of other condition. It's because of the generalized inflammation. It's just inflammation that they don't control. That inflammation that comes from eating poorly, eating highly saturated fat, a lot of things that can be corrected fundamentally. Yeah. I think there's a good podcast that I heard from, I forget the doctor's name, that treated that UFC owner guy.
Oh, Dana White.
Dana White, yeah.
Oh, you talking about what is that?
I forget.
Gary.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by
Gary Brecka.
That's right, Gary Brecka. Dr.
Yes.
Brecka. His philosophy is, hey, treat the inflammation. There's something going on. The inflammation, overweight, all of that's causing and destroying your body, and you're shooting your blood pressure up. Making your sugar high, causing vision changes, stroke, heart attack. All those things arises from what we do every day.
Gotcha. So you had more of a holistic approach. Why vascular? What made you go down the route of laser vascular? Something you are always passionate about, or what got you in that direction?
I was just damn good at it. I mean, I was good at everything else.
Gotcha.
But initially I thought I was going to become a bariatric surgeon.
Okay.
A weight loss surgeon.
Gotcha.
I was so slick with those laparoscope and bypassing the intestines and things like that. But when I did vascular surgery, I was even slicker.
Okay.
I mean, I was able to beat my attendings and kind of getting things done.
I've heard stories actually from, it's funny you said that, because I heard stories from some people that were with you from the beginning. They were like, oh my goodness, he was so fast as far as getting patients in and out, and he was able to do it really quick. And so you say you started with 2010, you worked for other companies. When did you launch laser vascular?
That same year.
Okay.
6 months after.
You knew immediately.
Well, I mean, I worked for 6 months. I said, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm going to start my own philosophy, my way of taking care of the patients, and that drew patients.
Yeah.
Patients wanted some different answers.
Yeah.
From there, I grew and grew. Continued to hire another doctor, one more doctor, and others, and then started investing in real estate. I didn't know anything about real estate.
Yeah.
I read books.
Yeah.
Started listening to podcasts, watched YouTube, and just taught myself.
Information is available anywhere. That's the thing. It's like there's almost too much information. Information is readily available. I think people want to hear about that though, because I think that also makes sense with all the things you do. So, started working with someone else 2010, launched your own in 2010 after 6 months, and then now you've grown. Was Bellagio Financial the first secondary business, or were you doing investing before that?
I mean, everything just happened in hodgepodge, a different order. There's
Okay.
no real sense of it. But the essential story is that it kind of grew gradually one at a time with a lot of mistakes we made.
Yeah.
In starting a business and doing anything, it's okay to make mistakes.
That's how you learn.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's no one manual for life. There's no one hey, follow this in your life and you'll be fine. There's no such thing exists. Yeah. Everybody's life takes turns and go a different path and comes back, and it's always jig-jag.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like Roger, that diagram where it says people think entrepreneurs' line is like this. Yeah. And yet it's really like all these squiggly lines going up and down, and then you're like, this is really a route. And it's funny too, because people realize how hard it is. A lot of times they won't want to do it, but it seems like your ambition, your drive was like, okay, fail fast, figure it out. I'll figure it out along the way and keep on growing.
Yeah, I think the fundamental important thing is having that vision. Mm-hmm. Hey, I don't know what's going to look like, but I want to get to this level. And I can't do it. Yeah. And then figuring it out along the way. Yeah. Elon Musk talked about how, hey, if you work 60 hours a week, your competitor works 40 hours a week, in a year, you can accomplish a lot more in 9 months than that person will take a year in terms of making mistakes, finding the solution that works, and then driving toward it.
I was literally just thinking about that literally yesterday, honestly, no joke. This is funny that you mentioned that, because I was thinking about that interview where he said, he's like, if I'm working 60, 80 hours a week, then what I'm doing in 4 to 6 months.
I think he said 100 hours.
Yeah. He's crazy.
Yeah.
But he was saying, like, I'm figuring out in 4 months, not only what works, but what doesn't work.
Yeah.
As opposed to them a year behind. And that it's a self, like, it builds upon itself.
And that's the truth. When you think about it, it's like, you're right. It makes sense.
Totally.
I mean, if you're working 100 hours a week for years after years and after, which is what I did. Yeah. Compared to someone just working 40 hours a week, I'm getting things done in less than half the time. What was the rate? I don't know, 30, 40.
2.5%. Yeah, you're 2.5 times.
And I'm able to get there a lot faster. I made tons of mistakes in real estate. I bought buildings that I shouldn't have bought, lost money on things, because of my mistakes. But I learned along the way.
Gotcha. So you mentioned vision. Let's talk about the vision, right? Because again, we have now, 14 years later, going on 15 years, congratulations. We have not only laser vascular, we have Bellagio Foot and Ankle. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything.
Sure.
We have Bellagio Smoke and Bake. We have AC Medics. We have Bellagio Wound Care, Laser Pain, Real Estate, Commercial, as well as leasing and residential. Was that always the vision? And if that is the vision, what is the vision going forward?
No. That wasn't the vision. Okay. I don't think anybody can have a vision like, hey, I'm going to become a doctor and I'm going to become the Surgeon General of the president. Those kind of visions don't exist because we don't know what it's going to be like. Mm-hmm. I think my vision was more like in line of, hey, I want to do the best I can. I want to contribute the most I can. I want to try anything and everything I possibly can, so that on my deathbed, I don't look back and regret, hey, what if I tried this? What would have happened if I, try that business, try this, job, try this other opportunities. Yeah. I didn't want to have any regrets.
No stone left unturned.
Exactly. And, I think a lot of that just came from reading autobiographies from people who have accomplished a lot and have given a lot, and just kind of learning that, absorbing that vision from them. It wasn't a concrete vision of where I wanted to be, all that mumbo jumbo about like picture yourself in 10 years on the boat and none of that. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen in tomorrow, let alone 10 years. Yeah. Things may change. I think not having that concrete vision and going, gosh, I can't be a doctor anymore because I hurt my finger or whatever, that would have been devastation. Gotcha. No, my vision was more of a, hey, what can I possibly do to contribute the most, accomplish the most, do everything that I possibly can try, so that I would have no regrets.
No regrets, no ceilings. That reminds me, I think I heard this quote, I think it was Ted Turner, said his father he had a vision and a goal, but then once he achieved it, that was like his glass ceiling. Yes. Right? So he was like, okay, I've done this, now what? He didn't know what. I think what you're saying is the fact that you didn't have a concrete ceiling, or didn't have a glass ceiling, you're open to anything and everything. And that makes sense again why we have the portfolio, the diverse portfolio that you now have. Because it is a lot of different things. People, that they don't follow on social media, they should. But they see it's everything, right? It's obviously you as father, some of your personal life, but also vascular, like I said, real estate, all the brands encompassing, but it's because you don't have that ceiling. You are putting limits on yourself.
Absolutely. I've heard tons of stories about doctors who became a doctor, and then once that vision is accomplished, it was all alcoholism after that, gambling, doing crazy things, and then they will lose their license and just destroy their own life because they hit their vision. Yeah. They had nothing else.
Nothing else to look forward to.
Right. So I think what saved me, it wasn't like, hey, I had this one vision, I got to become a surgeon, and that's what I want to do. No, surgeon was just a conduit. It's like, hey, I became a surgeon. What else can I do? Yeah, I'm done. What else can I be doing that can be contributing? Obviously, from real estate, the HVAC business came because, hey, we're having so many issues with ACs every year, every summer, even in the winter. It's like, hey, what if we had a business that supported each other and it would be synergistic? Mm-hmm. Boom, the idea came.
There you go.
Medical assisting school came because our medical business, we were always short of medical assistants. People were quitting. They weren't good. They didn't want to work anymore. And it was always a shortage of good talents. And the idea was, hey, what if we created our own school? We could train them with the vision and philosophy of the care they went. Right. And boom, the school was formed. And, obviously it took 6 months to get licensing. A lot of the investment had to be made. And so I think the fundamental principle of business remains the same. And these businesses, we're involved in it, not because, we think we're better than others, but a lot of people get into businesses with one skill, like they're able to do bookkeeping, and then they offer bookkeeping business. Yeah. And then the statistics show about 90% of the small and medium businesses fail within 10 years. Yeah. Because they don't have the fundamental business concept and the foundations.
Well, they don't even know business. I mean, that reminds me, I read a book, Email, and they're like, oh, okay, the bookkeeper opens a bookkeeping business. They have no idea about business. Right. And they don't know how to separate themselves from just being the tactical person. They actually are owning themselves as an employee.
Correct. They are the business. Yeah. And they can't. It's not separate from them anymore. A lot of the HVAC technicians, great at what they do. They open up their business. They think they're going to be successful. Don't know anything about accounting, financing, marketing, licensing, and insurance. All the things that require teamwork. Mm-hmm. They want to try to do it all, and then the husband and wife works 100 hours a week every day. They're drinking because they're so stressed out. They don't spend any time with their kids. They're destroying their families. And then in 5-10 years, they just give up. They say, we can't do this anymore.
It's too hard.
But it's too hard.
Yeah, instead of working for somebody else, they now have the worst boss, which is themselves. Yeah. And then working 80 hours a week trying to do everything. So,
that reminds me about what I heard about being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a great idea. A lot of people have energy to do it, but not everyone. It's not good for everybody.
Totally.
If you're good at your own task, you don't want the extra stress of legal issues, tax issues, financial employment matters. Perhaps opening up your own business and then having to deal with it and adding that extra stress is what damages your body, makes you gain weight, makes you drink, smoke.
It's having that self-awareness.
Right.
Because a lot of times people think they think the entrepreneur, they don't know how hard it is. And I'm like, it's great to be a number 2, a number 3, just an employee. Like there's advantages, and not everyone needs to be their own business. Talk about the Dr. Kim Foundation, because it seems like that is a combination of everything that you do. None that's one of your latest endeavors. Talk more about that.
Yeah. So charity has always been in my mind before, and I wasn't able to figure out how to do it. Obviously, during my medical, businesses, we're providing free care to people who couldn't pay. It felt bad for them. It's like, God, they can't get insurances. They don't have money. They're dying. There's got to be something I can do. I'll provide free care. But the foundation was the idea that, hey, you know what? As a team, we could do so much more with the competent team and organizational skills. We can actually not only help 10 people or 100 people in the community, but thousands and hundreds of thousands or millions of people.
Totally.
Because it's the concept of scaling, scalability. I can't help a million people by myself, but I can do it with a good team of 10, 20, 100 people that are aligned and fulfilling our mission of the foundation. So that's where the foundation came, and we are so excited about getting things organized, making a difference in the community, reaching out to homeless, providing comprehensive care, sort of healthcare, educational, spiritual help as well. A homeless person needs help with every single thing.
It's not just the one side. It's literally everything. It's A to Z. It's not just you can't compartmentalize their needs, I guess, if you will. It's not just one aspect. Like you said, it all works together. So it's a holistic situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, homeless, they're homeless because of drug addiction. Yes, that's true. That's one aspect of it.
That's one part of it.
There's so much more psychological. They need counseling. They need mindset. Maybe they have serious mental illnesses. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have schizophrenia. It's not treated medicationally.
Yeah.
Maybe they got diabetes. Maybe they have really bad pain that they're trying to medicate themselves with drugs and alcohol and whatever. And so why not get the fundamental problem solved, which goes back to my philosophy of treating the fundamental problem and then providing support needed that they couldn't get from other people or from their families or from themselves.
Absolutely. That reminds me of my father. He's worked his whole life, been a truck driver, retired, but still works part-time. He had a stroke end of last year. And for the first time, he was unable to work, right? So he had a stroke, dealing with those issues, and he's rehabbing. But we had a conversation. He was like, I now understand maybe he had more empathy for homeless people because he's like, no, it's not just people that just don't want to work. Maybe they can't work. Maybe there's all these other issues that he just didn't think of prior, but now he's like, I empathize. I understand. It's funny because now he's like, whenever I see someone, I make an effort to make sure I give him something, right? Because now he's felt what it's like to be not disabled, but just not having the ability to do all the things he wants to do. By the time this comes out, we'll have our event, September 7th, I believe is the date. We'll have this is our second event, right?
This is our second community health fair where we're providing healthcare screening services. Not only, we can't do any surgeries or actual healthcare in a forum like this, but we can provide a screening, triaging people, and getting down to the fundamental problems of what we can help them with.
Gotcha. And this is going to be a recurring thing that we're going to be doing.
Absolutely. Every quarter, more frequently if it's possible, if we can organize it.
Well, I think, like I said, this gives us people that are going to be seeing this, going to watch this, a scope of all that you do. Not only your past but present. I would ask you about your future in 5 or 10 years from now, but I know you don't know. I just know it's limitless, right?
Absolutely. No, I take one day at a time. I don't worry about the future. I don't worry about next week, next month, 1 year, 5 years. Yes, I do have goals and visions. I want to grow the organization to 1,000 people aligned in a mission and a vision to really make a big impact on the world and society. And, we're going to start small in local communities, but we want to impact everybody in Arizona, help them get better jobs, higher paying jobs, get, more stable families, get the healthcare they need. Whatever else we can do within our control, we will do. A lot of times, governments throw money at the homeless problem and thinking it's just drug addiction problem, or just to provide the housing and everything will be solved. It's a very complex problem. Human beings are complex. You and I, we have a spiritual, emotional, mental, physical need that are all integrated. That's integrated in the family system, in a relationship. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy solution where, how media may make it out to. Oh, it's just a simple homeless problem. Yeah. Just got to clean it up and they'll go somewhere. They don't go away. No. That's why the homeless problem is in California, here in Phoenix as well.
I come from Oregon, so I know about it.
And it doesn't go away. Government cannot just sweep it under the rug and throw money at it. It doesn't work that way. These people just need so much support from an organization that understands the fundamental problems that's related to it.
Yeah, they need all the resources, and it seems like that's what we're creating. So again, this is going to be fun. This is episode 1 across the board. You guys are going to be getting information on, again, AC Medics, home repair, Bellagio foot and ankle. Not only, what to look for, but how to just be more mobile. laser vascular. We have real estate. What's it like living in Arizona? That's one of the things we're going to be talking about. All the things that Arizona has to offer from the foundation as well. The outreach you guys will be doing. So stay tuned. This is going to be excited. More episodes to come. And thank you for being the inaugural guest.
No, thanks for having me. And we'll be talking more about everything and anything and randomly.
Everything, anything. Next time we'll probably have drinks. We talked about that. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yep, cigars and scotch for me.
There we go.